Episode number 73. Bring the podcast song in here. Mute it. All right. Coming here to the 4:30 mark, just in case we need to go over. And then let's go here. Mark, just in case we need to go over. And then but how do I guess I have to go into the actual website to change the name. I'm gonna change the name on the YouTube video, and then we should be well within that 5-minute time frame that I gave on the Facebook. But make sure that's muted. There we go. This I can do simply. My stuff. Episode number 73. Save. Now let me go in here. And Lex Friedman live on Joe Rogan Experience right now. Wonder who that is. Okay. Share. Copy link. Let's go into the Facebook. This is so much easier to do through mobile. I'm glad I got a new phone today. We'll be explaining that in a second. And make sure I'm charging here. We are. Now we can get out of that. All right. Let me do the little do not disturb on this one. And we're going to go hot on the audio. Okay. So this is going to be a very, very, very short talk. For content's sake. Going to be got a lot of stuff going on. I've been doing all kinds of stupid shit around the house all day. Not really stupid shit, just shit that need to be done. It's pointless. Not pointless. It's actually very necessary to do these things that I needed to do. I'm just so awful about doing them. I hate to clean. I hate doing things like that. Actually, I'm very proud of what I do when I do clean. Like, I look around at a semi-clean house and I feel pretty good about that. But I really hate the process of doing it. Dust is a thing that kills me. I just hate doing dust because then my sinuses will be all fucked up. And yeah, anyway, we're not talking about that. So I got a new phone today, and that frees up my old phone to run Mevo from, so I can do camera things from over here. I can check out my cool little telescope here. Isn't that thing awesome there? It's pretty sick, huh? I can do that and still have the mobility of my actual other phone. So, yeah. Anywho, Alicia was supposed to be here today. Alicia Brown, who's also been on an episode before, and you guys remember, woke up this morning and her voice wasn't doing so well, and I totally understand that. I'm as a person who relies on my voice to do this podcast and definitely sing and such. Totally understand when somebody can't do that. So wish Alicia some goodwill with her voice. Hopefully it'll come back around. She'll be coming back on soon. We'll be rescheduling that podcast. Also, the podcast on with Nick and Laura that has been rescheduled will be coming up after these next couple of weeks. He's been doing a lot of stuff here lately, been pretty busy. And we're talking about now. And by the way, this episode I'm mostly going to be catching you guys up with things that are going to be going on, and just a large plug basically for a lot of the stuff that I will personally be involved in, and that you guys can stay tuned for. So yeah, there's that. Now that's out of the way, I can get to all those things that I'm going to tell you about. We had a meeting. Wait, was there something I was just saying that I didn't finish? Nick's going to be coming on. Seth Scalara is going to be coming on, and we're going to be doing some sports talk. I know that I haven't done a sports talk in a very long time. I thought that I was jinxing the Braves maybe by talking about how good we were, but I guess that I should have kept talking about how good we were, because when I was doing that, we were actually doing really well. And when I stopped, we kind of fell off. So it's my fault. I'm sorry, guys. But Seth's going to be coming back on to do a sports talk. By we, I mean myself, Adam Justice, Noah Byrne, and Tyler Brown are of Horsehead Businessman. Adam, Tyler, and Noah are Horsehead Businessman. And they, if you're not familiar with Horsehead Businessman, Google that name, search on YouTube, Horsehead Businessman. There's a lot of really funny skits. They are doing a fishing show. And this is going to be called Some Dumb Fishing Show, which you can already go on to YouTube and subscribe to this channel. Nobody knows about it yet, and I don't even know if I'm allowed to drop it, but I'm gonna, because I feel like I already have, though. But it's called Some Dumb Fishing Show, and you can look that up on YouTube and subscribe to that channel. There, I've made music for the show, and I'm going to be narrating, and we're doing some really cool things. I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm not going to give you any information that the guys wouldn't want given out, but it is in the works. We will all be releasing links to all of these things as they come about. We will be doing a Horsehead Businessman episode of my stuff, and Adam, Noah, and Tyler are all going to be here, and we're going to talk about the show, and we're probably going to do that either the day before or day after it drops, the day after the pilot drops, and I don't know what time scale we're working with so far, but I would guess it'll be somewhere within the somewhere around the month to 2 months away from that. So just stay tuned with any information that you may get from Some Dumb Fishing Show. If you're not familiar with what it is, now you are. Also, there are talks about doing a Surf Shack reunion where we get all a few of the bartenders from the Surf Shack. There's no way you could get all of them, but well, we take a couple of the bartenders from the Surf Shack and we'll bring them in and we'll talk about interesting things going on. since then, I guess, or just old Shaq stories. And speaking of old stories, I went into Tito's Monday for happy hour before trivia, and I talked to Henry Ford and Brooke Hyder. Brooke Hyder's been on an episode. Henry Ford has been shouted out in dozens of episodes. And anyway, Henry said that he really enjoyed the episode that me and Jimmy did, where we talked about Tito's and pretty much the glory days and just some old Tito's stories. And just talked about Merle's Inlet things, like Merle's Inlet stuff, which is basically what the podcast was back then, and still is. We can still talk about the Merle's Inlet stuff, but I understand that there are people who do not live within the Merle's Inlet area who wouldn't be as interested in those things as other folks would. So I'm going to do something new, and I think that once a month I am going to go and set up the podcast down at Tito's, and we're going to just record everything there. Going to record everything live at Tito's. And it's going to be and we're going to do video and everything, the whole shebang. I probably won't take the computer. I will definitely be taking the board, and we'll probably just be recording everything through the video and just doing the YouTube live from there. And actually, this as this thought's occurring, I may end up not going live from YouTube or from Tito's just because I'll lose content if I'm not plugged in. I can plug in Ethernet here, so I can do that live with no problem. But I may just end up recording the video and publishing it afterwards. But that's beside the point. We're going to call those Merle's Inlet Mondays. I think we're going to do it the last Monday of the month, every month, where we take just an hour at Tito's, and whoever walks in, it'll just be us talking shit to Chicken Mike or whoever's there or whatever. It'll just be us at the bar, and anybody who walks in and wants to be a part of it can be. And we're going to be doing that the last Monday of the month. So those are going to start coming to you. Actually, the first one will be next Monday. And let's see. I don't know if there's anything else that's pretty important that's coming up soon. If there is, I'm sure I'll think about it shortly. But like I said, this was an idea that I had randomly just talking to the guys, because I really never get to go, or not get to. I really never see those guys anymore because I don't drink. I don't hang out at the bar as much as those folks do. So it would be nice for me to get in there and to show some face and to see the old crew, basically. And having this podcast set up there would actually give me a mental reason to, not that I need one, but I'm just a weirdo and I have to keep that ball rolling. What's the word I'm looking for? Productive ball rolling. I want to stay productive, I guess. So I guess this is a way of doing that. And, yeah, there's that. So I think that's all the stuff that I've got to plug right now. But since this is just like a little catching you up on things and the sort, I am going to talk about the one thing that I started talking about in the episode on my birthday and never really finished. I started talking about movies and things that I like to watch, and just sort of hijacked that whole conversation and talking about how I start getting sad on birthdays and whatnot. So I'm not going to go down that road, but I am going to finish my thoughts on movies. So my favorite movie of all time, hands down, is Silence of the Lambs. It's the greatest movie of all time. Hannibal Lecter is one of the greatest characters of all time, without a doubt. Everything that he did was perfect. Even all killing all these people, everything that he did to make the world a better place. He was very much Dexter in a way that he killed to literally make the world a better place. He removed people who were rude. Barney in Silence of the Lambs said that Hannibal liked to eat the rude, when permittable, obviously. So that. And I don't know why I'm going on this road. I just wanted to finish this thought. But I don't know why. I just thought there was something so admirable about that. Is that you do the worst thing that you can possibly do is take somebody's life, right? That's pretty much like top of the heap when it comes to shitty things that can be done. And he's doing this to make this place better for us. So, I mean, it's like he's doing the worst thing that can be done for the best reason that it can be done. And I don't know why I find admiration in that, but I just do. And that's why Silence of the Lambs is my favorite movie. But it also has a plot within a plot within a plot. And not a lot of movies do that. A lot of things will just send you down this one road and tell you this story and from A to B, and that's all it is. But it's very Tarantino in a way that it tells you this part of the story, and then it shows you this part of the story, and then it shows you this part of the story, except it does it all chronologically instead of what Tarantino does, which is flip everything around like a puzzle. But we're not talking about music theory or movie theory right now. We're just talking about the one in particular. Silence of the Lambs is the greatest movie of all time. Don't know why I wanted to finish that thought, but I did. Also, another random thing that I just thought about. So I read all of the Goosebumps books when I was a kid, and I was really obsessed with that at a very early age. And it's funny, my Aunt Mamie Jean was a teacher or did something. I don't know if she was a teacher or I'm pretty sure was a teacher, but did something at Blenheim Schools right next to my hometown. And they apparently confiscated all of the Goosebumps books from kids because they weren't supposed to be reading those books. They were supposed to be reading the books that they were assigned to read, which I think is a really funny thing, that schools would take a book away from somebody who wants to actually read so that they can't read the thing that they want to, and then inevitably probably won't read the thing that they're supposed to just out of childish rebellion. Isn't that funny? Is that not weird and is that not telling? Do you think that there's a lot of folks who are not, I don't know, our school systems are not doing so well in South Carolina as far as literacy goes? Like we're very low on the national scale when it comes to things in that subject. And it's funny to think that maybe that wouldn't be the case had we just let these kids read the Goosebumps books. However, at that time, I didn't give a shit because I was getting these Goosebumps books for free, and I was just reading them left and right. I don't know where they are now, but there was a point when I probably had a great deal of them, and obviously not the entire collection, but a lot of them. So what I'm doing now is I am building the original Goosebumps books collection again. And I've got about 43 of them out of the original 62. There's 62 original Goosebumps books, and I've got 43 of them. So I still got a few of them I need to find before I can complete the whole collection, and I just want to read the entire thing from start to finish, like read all of the Goosebumps books. And I know that's as kids' books, but man, I was reading one of them the other day, and they're so well written, and I can really tell why I write the way that I do, like how I quote people speaking, or my use of the Oxford comma or whatever have you in writing. I notice why I do that because R.L. Stine also did that, and I started to think, is R.L. Stine my favorite author? I mean, J.K. Rowling has written my favorite books. Obviously, the Harry Potter books are my favorite books. And J.K. Rowling is probably my favorite author. But I say probably because I just started looking back at these R.L. Stine books, and like his English was impeccable. His language, the way that he described things, so that a kid, like a preteen, basically could understand it. And I was like, man, is this guy my favorite author? Is R.L. Stine does he own that title now? He very well could. Because now I officially own more books by him than any other author. And by the way, I'm doing this all on eBay. So I will go on eBay and I'll just like look at these lot of books, like a lot of 12 or 14 books. The biggest one that I got was a lot of 27, and there were a couple of doubles in there. But I'm giving all the doubles to Cruise Man. Watch Back to the Cruise Show. Subscribe to that channel, Back to the Cruise Show. But I'm going through eBay and I'm just getting all these things, and I got several lots and all the doubles that I'm giving to Cruise Man, and I've even got like 4 copies of one particular book. And it's ironic, the one I'm reading right now anyway. But anyway, once I get all this thing built up and redone, I don't know why I'm doing it. It's just, I guess I'm bored and I want to collect something, or I don't fucking know. Anyway, not going to waste any more time with that. And totally hijacked my the movie thing that I was talking about with Just Silence of the Lambs. So I'm going to go back and talk about the most recent thing that I've watched, and it was the Adam Sandler stand-up on Netflix. Talking about the Goosebumps books, there's a little Scholastic Symbol, which if you guys are anywhere near my age or had kids near, or existed throughout the 90s at all, you remember the Scholastic Book Fair. And I bought a Adam Sandler book at the book fair when I was a kid called Not Too Shabby. And in that book, Adam Sandler described when he went off to kindergarten, whenever the kids got let out for recess, he thought that meant that you could just go home. So he would get his bag. Whenever they went out to recess, he would take his book bag with him and he'd just walk home. And it dawned on him that that's not what happened and that's not the deal. And he was like, well, man, this is bullshit. I don't want to stay here. He hated school and just didn't want to be there. And I immediately connected with that because when I was a kid, and my dad can attest to this, the kindergarten was fine because I got let out at 12 when I went to kindergarten. But yeah, I went to public school for first grade. And I went, and the first, couple of weeks, I would just go to my teacher's desk and just start crying because I wanted to go home. I didn't want to be there. I did not want to be in school. I would literally cry at my teacher's desk every day and ask my dad to come get me. And he came back a few times. He came back and just, told me, you got to stay. You can't come home with me. You got to stay here. But eventually I realized that I had to fucking stay. So I made a promise that if I could ever get out of school, that I would never go back. And for some reason, I always connected to Adam Sandler because of that. He was one of the first people, when I got a little older, I realized, oh, he was like that too? That's really cool. So, read that book, and Adam Sandler immediately became probably my favorite comedian. That was right around the Billy Madison era. Billy Madison, I think, had just come out when I read that book, and I always wanted to watch it, but my Aunt Marie wouldn't let me watch it. And then one day I finally got to watch it, and was just I loved Adam Sandler's style of comedy, and I stuck with that throughout my adulthood. I've watched everything that Adam Sandler's done, and I've appreciated most of it. As far as the kid stuff, I could give a shit less. But I understand that he had kids and he needed to do something for them and whatever. That was cool. But I watched this new stand-up that he did, and I was talking to Alicia the other night at trivia, and she was like, I hope it's good. And I'm like, well, it's going to be good because it's Adam Sandler, and 2, if it's not good, I'm sure that it won't get released. I mean, and this is really good. It's really funny. He comes out of the gate, and it's mostly instead of stand-up, he's singing songs, funny songs that he's written, and just the lyrics that he is remembering, he's just pulling all this out of his head is amazing, especially for somebody who plays music professionally. Remembering lyrics is not an easy thing to do, but he's remembering lyrics that he wrote to raps, and it's pretty fucking impressive. But anyway, I'm not going to give any spoilers away from the thing, but he in the later movies that Adam Sandler made, he started to get to where he would tug at your heartstrings in every single movie. Like, he makes you laugh uncontrollably in parts, and then makes you cry uncontrollably in other parts. If you were an empath like I am, empath, however you want to say it, and yeah, if you feel that way at all about things, Adam Sandler definitely does that really well, especially in this stand-up regarding one of the songs that he does, and I'm just staring at the screen, just literally sobbing. Like, I was like child crying when I watched this thing. And when you watch it, you'll know the part that I'm talking about, because you'll probably be doing the same thing if you're into comedy like I am. But somebody else the other day said something about Jeff Thomas wants to come back and do an episode about stand-up comedians and like skateboarders and all those kinds of things. So Jeff's going to come back and we're going to talk about all comedians, and we're going to do an episode on comics and comedy and all of that, and that's going to be coming up soon. And I know I keep saying all these things are coming up soon, and they haven't yet, but just know that they're in the works, and that we're getting to the point in my season where I've not got a lot going on, and Noah Burns doing fine with the bingo thing on Tuesdays, so that'll give me an extra day to where I can get a little bit more scheduling going on with this with the podcast, and just stay on top of that. We've got Cameron and Gentry are going to be here on Sunday, this coming Sunday, and when we get done with that episode, I think the following Wednesday, Stephen Diamante, who's been on the podcast before, wants to come back and do another episode, and he just went on the trip around. He just did his trip, and he had to end his trip a little early, but he made it all the way around to like Washington, California, and back to Texas. So he'll have a lot of content that he'll want to get out, and a lot of things that he's going to want to plug. We're going to do that. I've told you about Scott Mann doing the Marathon for Meals episode. We're going to be doing that one soon. That'll be coming up within a couple of weeks. Jarrett Hucks from the Midtown Hotel in Myrtle Beach. Outstanding dude who opened his literal business up to people who didn't have anywhere to go throughout the hurricane and asked for nothing in return. Going to be doing an episode. Going to be talking to him, and I'm sure that our episode won't be limited to just the things that have gone on around the hurricane. I had a good conversation with him at the band tribute the other night, and that was. We will definitely be talking about a lot of things. There'll be no shortage of subjects between us two. But also, to go back to the band thing, so in recap of last episode where I just had my little meltdown, I ended up watching the video, and from the video, it looks totally fine. From the video, it looks like there was no ill content in what was said. I think that I may have just gotten, I don't know, maybe I was just stoned and overthinking it or whatever have you. But I watched the video and everything went fine and it was cool. And you could tell I screwed up in one part, but it doesn't really matter. The song got done. We did the whole thing. It was complete. And then in the end, we nailed the ending. So it was best that the little screw up was right dead in the middle. Like, so the first and second, everything went totally fine. So once, and I'm probably one of the few people who realized that this thing went wrong, but I don't know. Either way, it turned out differently than I thought it did. All right, I'm not going to keep you any longer. I still got a lot of cleaning to do. I'm sorry that this episode's kind of bouncing around and not really about anything, but I just been so damn tired lately. So exhausted. I feel like every day I have something to do. Like every day I'm committed to doing something. Like my weekends are usually Monday and Tuesday because I generally gig from Thursday to Sunday or Wednesday to Sunday. And this time of year, Wednesdays are dropping off, so Wednesday is also sort of part of that weekend. But I do the trivia on Monday. So that's sort of not necessarily something I'm committed to. Like if I didn't go, it wouldn't be the end of the world. But it's something that I like to do and enjoy and want to be a part of that. And then Tuesdays also trivia, and Wednesday is podcast. So I feel like I haven't had any time to myself to actually do things that I want to do, and not knocking on any of this stuff that I've got going on because I've created all of this myself. So, I mean, I could stop all of it if I wanted to, but I'm committed. I want to do this thing. My ratings haven't been so good in the Podomatic and the podcast thing. I don't know if that's just because my content isn't doing so well or if I'm not organized like I should be or if I'm not doing bullet points or if I need to be doing something differently or if I need to have more guests lined up so where I'm not just here talking by myself because my ratings go down when I do episodes by myself. And I don't mind that. I'm literally, like I said, I'm literally using this as a showcase of my own, not showcase, but maybe just this is my journal, my personal journal. You guys know that. And I like doing these things so that I can keep up, like years from now, I can listen to where my brain was on this day. Because it's never in the same place. Ever changing, folks. Ever changing. All right, that's all I got for you. Enjoy your week. Hump day is through for the most part. Thursday was always one of my favorite days because Friday was going to be the next day, and Friday was my favorite day. Friday was so awesome because it was like you got to go to school and see your friends and everything. But then you got to go home and you didn't have to do any homework until back in the early days, you didn't get no damn homework on Friday. You only had homework Monday through Thursday. Turn your homework in on Friday, you get the whole weekend off. When I got a little older, they started giving you homework on the weekends, which is bullshit. Expect me to do homework. I don't do homework Monday through Thursday. I never did a stitch of homework in school, like ever. I hated homework. When I got off work, out of school, I didn't want to go back to school. So I did not want to do homework, man. I just didn't give a shit. It didn't matter to me. I failed every year I was in Latta High School. I never did no damn homework. They passed me on test scores. I told that story to Tyler earlier tonight. It's a true story. They passed me on test scores because I damn sure wasn't doing damn homework. Anyway, we ain't here to talk about homework. We ain't here to talk about practice. I'm going to let y'all get on with your lives. Thank you for listening to me ramble. Yeah, that's all I got. Be good people. Be good people out there. Peace, bitches. Hey, guys, how you living? You doing well? Good. Glad to hear that. In this episode, I totally just ramble, and Alicia was supposed to be on tonight, but she wasn't feeling so hot, so wanted to make sure that she's on whenever she feels comfortable, so we're going to give her another week or so to get her voice under control and have her back on here for another episode. Also going to have Nick and Laura, as I've mentioned, on here soon. Going to be doing the Merle's Inlet Mondays, the last Monday of the month. Every month we're going to be down at Tito's for an hour for happy hour. And we're going to just literally tell old stories, tell old Tito's stories, just literally be in the bar hanging out for a little while. And whoever comes in. It'll be basically a free-for-all podcast, which is, I think, a fun idea that we came up with this week at Tito's. Jeff Thomas is going to be coming on soon. We're going to talk about some comedians and some skateboarders and just some great 90s nostalgia and things of the sort and just random comedians of the day and comedy and comics all around. So that's going to be happening. Scott Mann's going to be coming back on to do the Marathon for Meals episode. We're going to be plugging that, and I'll be on the radio station with him for a little bit. I'm sure I'm not. I assume that that's what we'll do, and we'll be talking about that thing for a little while. And also, Jarrett Hucks is going to be coming on Midtown Hotel in Myrtle Beach. I think I've got that right. Jarrett's a great dude. Met him the other night at the Pit, and going to be doing that. I'm pretty sure I've told you guys about that in the last episode. That's going to be happening. Going to be doing a Horsehead Businessman episode that's going to be promoting a fishing show that me and the Horsehead Businessman guys, Adam, Nowhere, and Tyler, are a part of, called Some Dumb Fishing Show. Subscribe to Some Dumb Fishing Show on YouTube. I think that's the YouTube channel. I could be wrong. I will actually share a link on the My Stuff podcast page on Facebook to the Some Dumb Fishing Show so that you guys will know which one I'm talking about. So check there for that. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Kelsey Hudgens, KELSEYHUDGINS on YouTube, MI Stuff Podcast on Facebook, patreon.com/MIStuffPodcast.com or patreon.com/MIStuffPodcast. If you want to be part of the Discord channel, there's a bunch of us that are in there already. Feel free to get up with me if you want to be part of that. I can send you a link to the chat so you can be part of our little group. It's technically like a really, really super organized group chat with different categories of chats. If that makes any sense. I think that's a pretty good description of it. Anyway, getting close to the end of this intro, so bear with me. Want to thank everybody for listening, and this podcast has been rolling now officially for over a year, and we've done pretty good. We've stayed right in the high one or the low 100s and the high we've been ranked anywhere between the high 80s and around the 120s. So I'm really stoked about that, and we've kept that up for several months, and very, very happy that you guys have listened to this podcast for this long and listened to me ramble about this bullshit and nothing. And appreciate you bearing with me on these episodes when it's just me talking about nothing, because we will be getting guests in here soon, and going to be doing a lot more stuff in the future regarding other people, because I know I'm not going to be doing it all on my own, because that gets boring for me and for you, I'm sure. Anyway, without further ado, episode number 73 of My Stuff. Enjoy, motherfuckers. All right, YouTube, thanks for hanging in there with me. Be good people in a world full of shitty people. Don't be one of them. Be one of the good ones. Don't be a dick. A lot of people out there to try to be one. Don't be one of those people. Later.